Welcome back. I'm Jen Potter, the host of Networking Now, and I am joined here with Jennifer Hopson. Thank you so much for coming back. We've managed to talk about some amazing topics over this episode, and we're going to talk about something even more awesome because this is a topic I adore, is imposter syndrome. So Jen, why don't you tell me your thoughts on imposter syndrome?
I enjoy that you said you enjoy imposter syndrome because I don't think many people enjoy imposter syndrome. It's one of those things that you avoid like the plague, and the more successful you are, the more it happens to show up. It really is that creeping feeling that you're not deserving of the things that you have or the things that you have accomplished. And it's that nagging voice and nagging feeling that you're not deserving. And first of all, very, very clear, imposter syndrome is a liar. Don't listen to it. That's the base of imposter syndrome. But I think what's important is I have found imposter syndrome tends to show up more frequently when people stop taking the actions and doing the things that made them successful in the first place. When people get complacent, they get comfortable, they pull it back, they stop doing the actions, the daily, the consistency that they did in the first place. So what happens is you start to doubt yourself because you know that you're not showing up as your best self.
Ah,
So
that's really well said. That's really well
it's
said.
really what happens, and you're not showing up as your best self. So then those thoughts start to creep in. Well, I'm not deserving of this because I'm not earning it. And yes, there is a point in time where just enjoy your success and you can take a hot second. But when those voices start to creep in, you go back to basics. What are the things that got you to where you are now? And what are the things that are going to get you to the next level, if there is a next level? To overcome imposter syndrome, you have to take action. You have to get into activity, whatever level of activity that looks like for what you're doing. And at the very, very basics, you want to let go of those thoughts. Basic journaling, reading. If you're filling your mindset with positive information, there's no room for imposter syndrome.
I love the journaling part of it. I find that for me, that's something I truly love to do because it gives me a moment of reflection. But, as you started to kind of explain it, because like I always feel like imposter syndrome, it's interesting because, different people have different takes on it. And I firmly believe that it was made up to make people feel even worse. And, because those people go, well, I worked really hard and I don't want to work this hard, so therefore I shouldn't have to. Instead of coming up with a strategic plan on how to work more efficiently and maybe change the way that you are working and change it to more delegation, right? So we can revel in our success and maybe not work as hard as we worked before, but if we're able to kind of refocus and re-strategize, it will give us an opportunity to still be a part of our success, but then also maybe move to a different level of that success within, your accomplishments. Because I think sometimes there are so many people that are like, they grind, right? Myself included. I work so much. And this summer, like there was a week that I worked like 100 hours one week, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, this is insane. I shouldn't have to work this hard. But I know that part was temporary. But for me, like, I'm always going to be a hard worker. It's something that it's just how I work, right? And not everybody's like that. But I do know that I don't always want to work this hard. So like I do start to delegate. I run 5 businesses and people are like, how do you do it? I'm like, I delegate. Like, yes, I work really hard. And I'm always working really hard when I'm starting another company. But I know that as I can't keep up that, but I do want to work really hard. And I don't want that imposter syndrome, like you said, I don't want that to show up anywhere. And so like I just need to re-strategize. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten really better at that. But I think at some point in most of our lives, we do question that. And have you ever gotten to a point in your life that you've ever felt it or you've ever thought about it? And how has it affected you?
So what's interesting about what you're saying is it brings me to, a specific point and thought. So there's the one side where people work extremely, extremely hard, and those thoughts don't even get to come in because they're taking so much action. And what's interesting is the people that start to delegate and give things out tend to get in more because then they go, well, I'm not working that hard, and look how successful I am. And
I feel so called out.
I love Hal Elrod, right? I love Hal Elrod, the miracle equation, because it's consistency and it's extraordinary things that you're doing, but they're not extraordinary. These things, you're not moving mountains and you're not Mother Teresa, providing miracles to people to create this success. And I think
I'm
that's
not.
where it starts to creep in. That's where it starts to creep in, because we're like, well, the things that I'm doing, they're not physically that hard. Like, there are people that are hard workers, right? They're out in construction and it's 100 million degrees. That's hard work. What I'm doing is not hard work. It's meaningful. But if I show up consistently daily to do it, and I think you asked me the question of where it showed up. So in my network marketing business, I promoted to the top 2% of the company, right? And there's a point where there's a lot of pomp and circumstance and you walk the stage in a fancy dress. And that's not in all companies, right? But in most people, they don't get to walk the stage because they did something amazing. But that was what happened. And, I walked in, I was like, but what I did wasn't that hard. Do I deserve this? Do I deserve this? Or did I just show up consistently with a clear goal and a clear vision? And I did it no matter what. And that's what makes me successful. So you have to really peel back the onion and go, all right, maybe it doesn't take hard work. Maybe a lot of the things you were saying you're doing in your 100-hour week, they weren't hard. But showing up for 100 hours, that's hard, right? And a lot of the things you probably enjoyed. And as you delegate in the next few months more and more to the people you've built this trust with, you have to watch for that imposter syndrome to go, because I'm doing so much less, yet I'm being way more successful than I ever was. Do I deserve this? I'm not doing as much. And that's where you have to step back and go, you know what? I'm deserving. And in your journaling, really dig deep. You are deserving because everyone in this universe is deserving of success. I think we're in this age of, we're growing out of it, I'm hoping, but a lot of times I can't be successful if she's successful in the same thing. And we have to get out of that and go, we're all entitled to a level of success that we're willing to work for. And the work doesn't have to be backbreaking, it just has to be consistent.
That's amazing. Consistency is key, and we all are deserving. That is so well said. Thank you so much, Jen, for that. I appreciate that very much. And we're going to cut to our next break. And I'm Jen Potter, host of Networking Now, and we'll be right back.